Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Infamous here, coming back with another video. Hope everybody's doing good. If this is your first time here, be sure to click the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content. So this is the ESO Battlegrounds website for those who are interested in Battleground gameplay. Be sure to check out battleofthebuild.com, and then you can go to the ESO classes and basically pick whatever class it is that you play, and there's typically numerous builds for all of the play styles, whether you play Magicka, Stamina, or Hybrid. I was just reviewing for those who are looking for a ESO Nightblade tank build. One of the builds that I really enjoyed playing was the ESO build that I designed for the Magicka Nightblade called Hold the Line. I did make some changes to the build. I swapped out some of the skills and actually updated it here on the Battle of the Build website. One of the reasons was because I did want to add in a little bit more utility to this build and for the playstyle. For those who are looking for Battlegrounds, for those of you who like playing like a tanking support role, which ESO definitely supports, be sure to check out this build. It's called Hold the Line. It's kind of designed, for those who know the Viking show, I kind of designed this after the Lagertha Lothbrok. I really enjoyed the show, and I wanted to create kind of like a thematic Nord, sort of like a Nord tank. And anyway, with that said, looking at some of the updates for this particular build, one of the changes that I did make was I did add in a little bit of extra spell damage to the build. I think before I was running a recovery, I was able to drop the Magicka recovery and then add in a little bit more spell damage, so that the funnel health heals are basically a little bit stronger for this patch. And I swapped in Healthy Offering. Healthy Offering is kind of like the Magicka Nightblade's support burst heal. It's kind of like Breath of Life. You do have to aim the ability. I've used this in several different builds. It's really good. And I chose this more because while the debuff is running on you, it does give you minor mending, which of course will increase the funnel health heal, as well as the heal from Reaper's March, as well as your own personal heal from Dark Cloak. One of the other changes that I made to this build as well was swapping from Cripple to Debilitate, and this, of course, it does do a little bit of damage over time. This particular ability increases the movement speed reduction from, I believe it's 30% to 50%, but the major reason that I chose this morph was because of Debilitate gives the minor Magicka steal, and so this offered a little bit more utility in both being able to, let's say maybe your group doesn't have a healer. Previously I didn't use this ability, and I used Cripple on the front bar, and I used a different ability on the back bar. I was able to drop that just in case your team does not have a healer. You can offer some supplemental healing via Healthy Offering. It is at the expense of your own health, but as you can see on this build, I am running fairly good health recovery. Let me just go here and swap over, make it easier for you to see. So you can see the stats over here, and then I'm running really good health recovery. So this isn't an ability that you want to overspam, but it does give you a little bit of more utility for your team in case your team doesn't have a healer. Your primary goal is to tank and to take damage, but this ability does allow you to offer a little bit of extra healing to your team that you can also supplement, of course, also via funnel health, and of course via the ultimate soul siphon. So the other ability that, like I said before, was to be able to offer your team minor Magicka steal, which will give your teammates a little bit of extra magic recovery, which is beneficial whether you're either stamina or hybrid. Whether you're stamina or Magicka, as obviously Magicka builds need extra Magicka, and of course, even if you're a stand build, you can always use your Magicka for basically the support abilities that you use on your bar. And then of course, with the changes to structured entropy, I stuck with this morph for the extra healing, because I think I was running a health recovery glyph. And excuse me, I was running a Magicka recovery glyph here, and so whatever healing that I was missing from the other skill that I was using, this ability here basically supplements the healing that I'm missing. Oh, I remember I was using, where is it? I was using siphoning. So I was using siphoning before, so I swapped out siphoning, which does heal you every time you do light and heavy attack, and so basically structured entropy would basically replace the healing that was missing that I would normally receive from structured entropy. Structured entropy obviously does heal a little bit less, but this ability only really heals when you're doing both light and heavy attacks, whereas this ability will give you healing for the duration of the skill. That's kind of why I swapped it out. Put them both on my back bar, and I moved Healthy Offering to the front because it does have a much stronger heal on the front bar. And then I moved Reaper's Mark. Originally I ran it on the back bar, but I moved it to the front, one, to give you a little bit more spell critical so that this ability will crit. Also, it's in line with the Ice Heart, as the Ice Heart obviously procs off of criticals. And the other reason that I moved it to the front bar was also so that I'm more likely to make sure that I'm debuffing enemies on my team. And of course, this also is our major way that we're gaining that big heal. As you can see, it's 18.7k, as well as gaining the major berserkers, but it's primarily there to make sure that we're debuffing enemies for our teammates to be able to do extra damage, as it gives you both the major fracture and major breach. And of course, whenever that opponent dies, it then gives you a huge heal, as well as giving you major berserk for 5 minutes, increasing your overall damage, which of course will increase your funnel health. Not all that important, but we're primarily using it for that big heal and for the debuff. Since we're being able to give Magicka Steel from Debilitate, as well as deal damage, and as well as reduce the movement speed of our opponent, there was no real reason for me to run a Resto Staff, as I'm using a double Ice Staff on this build. So there's really no reason on this particular build where I would use for example, Weakness to Elements, because I'm already getting that for free here, and then this ability is actually doing more than what Weakness to Elements would do. With that said, if you have any comments, I'm going to show you a little bit of the gameplay of this particular build from past and do a little bit of commenting. One thing that I really enjoyed about making the Magicka Nightblade tank, I kind of wanted to create something that was really unique, offered group synergy, and basically showcased how a lot of different classes can perform similar tank functions, but not necessarily all in the same way. So this is basically my Magicka Nightblade. It functions as a front line. Basically, you're taking a lot of damage, you have really high health recovery, so you're able to basically take a lot of damage and not be reliant on really a lot of the other heals. Typically on this build, I'm usually looking for opponents to either debuff via root or slow them down, put my major fracture on them, hit them with funnel health to get a little bit of HP recovery going, but at the same time I'm still able to put out some damage. As you can see, I can still secure the kill here. Hit with a 4.6k with my ultimate. On this particular build I was using Soul Tether, but I had switched off to the other morph so that I could offer my team some healing, especially if my team was being pressured from range casters. Basically the stun from Soul Tether really wasn't that important, so I ended up switching off. This particular build, as you can see, I can take a lot of damage, and I've got really good healing via Dark Cloak. You can see the heal ticks going off on your left side and the heal ticks from Structured Entropy. And then you'll see the previous patch, I was using Cripple because Cripple gave Major Expedition. Unfortunately, that was changed, which is why I kind of switched off to offer a little bit more utility. Typically on this build, I typically want to try to absorb as much damage as you see. I kind of push teams, let them focus me, back away, take a little bit of damage. As you can see, I can focus getting sniped. And then I was using the Manifestation of Terror, and that typically was to CC people who were coming in. As you can see, people would get focused. At this particular moment, I was able to utilize my ult, which got a little bit of a stun there. Heavy attacks, of course, to regen mana, as well as, of course, to proc the healing over time from the permafrost set that I'm using. And of course, heavy attacks with a frost staff will give you a small shield, and that's primarily the purpose. You'll see the hardening glyph going off on the left. You'll see Ice Heart will proc, and then my HP recovery basically shoots up to 3700, and that's basically to give me the sustain that I need. As you can see, I'm pretty tanky, able to get focused by 2 Magicka Sorks, as well as a Warden pet. I'm really not all that squishy. Primary purpose, of course, as a tank is, 1, not to be ignored, but 2, you also want to offer some sort of utility to your team. Here I use my ability basically to stun the other opponent on the right as I was trying to save my friendly. I dropped my Ice Path to basically slow everybody. As you can see, my Soul Tether is going off. Unfortunately, my teammates weren't sticking together, but I was trying to do my best to keep people debuffed, rooted, slowed, etc. Here I'm working with a teammate as I'm basically trying to take a little bit of a damage from my teammates. I end up seeing my teammate on my right, that's behind me, getting a little focused, which you'll see here in a second. As I see my teammate getting focused, and so immediately what I do is I step in front of him, I hold block. So basically now they're forced to hit me instead of hitting the other Magicka Nightblade that you can see right there that's healing himself. And so that's another way that you can support your team, which is basically body blocking, where you stand in front. Here I utilize my ultimate to garner that stun, and our team gets the kill. And of course we are in deathmatch. And then of course I push out. I start getting focused. I'm able to take an ultimate that of course would have hit someone who is a little bit more squishy. I drop my slow. I drop the my slow and my root, and then I quickly drop my ability there to basically stun anybody who comes in the way, as I'm using the stun morph that basically drops a trap. And there I go, again pushing the front line, trying to take as much damage for my team. And this is basically what you want to do as a tank. You're not just there to hold block, as I'm there to both basically debuff, make sure I'm taking as much damage as I can so that my teammates aren't taking that damage and they're able to focus on doing damage and not basically playing defensive. Here I jump out, I use my ability to gain a double stun, and then I keep pushing out, I'm taking damage here, and my team is able to focus. Unfortunately, my team ends up going down, I believe, at some point. But basically, this is basically my focus. As you can see, I'm fairly tanky, able to get focused by multiple opponents, but I have a pretty decent amount of resources. And of course, unfortunately, my team ends up getting killed, and then I get overly focused and I go down. So my teammates, instead of staying with me, they let themselves get pushed. They should have stayed with me, and it would have been much easier as I'm able to take a lot of damage for them. Unfortunately, they ended up either getting back attacked and then not sticking with me, and I would have been able to absorb some of the damage or offer some utility, which is basically what you want to do as a support tank. You're there to, one, take damage. Two, you want to have a way to provide some sort of utility, whether that's like off healing, you know, dropping slows, roots, stuns. I have a fair amount of tank ability, but of course, if I don't stay buffed, then I'm more than likely to die. And here I push in on another Magicka Nightblade. I'm able to do a little bit of damage. He's using Troll King. He's not really healing himself, and I'm still able to garner the kill. Even though this build isn't designed to put out a lot of damage, it's really there for the, the funnel health, the cripple. For at this point, I'm using cripple, which is for the root and the slow. I'm basically leading my team. Unfortunately, as I shouldn't be, because I am the tank. Here I'm able to push out again. I've got my ult. I put myself in a position where I try to be able to hit multiple opponents. Here I'm getting attacked, so I immediately roll dodge. I use my ability. I see two people, and I immediately stun them both. So as you can see, I'm able to take a Dawnbreaker. My team is able to secure that other kill, and I basically back out here as I'm getting focused. We end up pushing out against the green team as I'm getting focused. And the reason I chose this particular build with a double ice staff, as I'm able to save my stamina for CC breaking and roll dodging. As you can see, I'm using the fear trap morph. So basically, if we do get pushed in, then the enemies will be basically CC, which kind of gives my team a little bit of pressure relief. On this build, I am using a ice staff on the front bar with decisive, and that's basically because Magicka Nightblade has really, really good ult gen from their passive, and of course, with a decisive staff, you have the ability to gain an extra tick of ultimate. And here I am. I see three members of the team. I'm always make sure to drop Ice Path, pull to slow, and then I jump right in all four of them, and immediately use my ult. I stun multiple opponents, and this basically pushes the entire green team, as well as one of the red opponents, starts pushing them back, and this allows my team, who should be with me, to be able to push as I'm taking the vast majority of the damage. Unfortunately, my teammates are not following me. As you can see, they end up getting focused. As they're not pushing with me, they end up getting hit from behind and not staying with their tank, which is what you should do. If you're having a person who is absorbing a lot of damage, you want to push with that opponent, look for weak targets, and basically attack the person that your tank is basically CCing for you. As eventually, as you can see, I eventually do go down, because unfortunately my teammates are just not sticking with me and not looking for soft targets. As you can see, you saw my stats around the right. Without the proc, I've got about 1700 HP recovery, and without a pod, I'm sitting at about a 1500 Magicka recovery, and then that goes up in this particular build in this video to about 1850, almost 1900. So here we go again. Unfortunately, I'm not fully buffed here. As you can see, I don't have my major evasion buff up. And there we go. Now I rebuff myself, and then of course I'm trying to secure this kill on this Magicka Sork, who's shield stacking. He's got about 12-13k in shields. This person, of course, wastes his ult. He should have just gone with an execute there, or CC'd into an execute. He should have died a lot sooner, especially how low he was. And now here I have absolutely all of my buffs down. So as you can see, I was really tanky, and I get multi-focus, all my buffs are down, and see how quickly I go down. So you saw in the previous clips where I was able to take quite a bit of damage from an entire team. Here I get focused by just 2 people, 2 or 3 people, and I go down fairly quickly because my buffs are all down. I wasn't prepared. Had I had my buffs up, I would have been just fine. I would have been able to take 25% less damage from the Dawnbreaker. Plus, I didn't have my major physical or spell resistance buff up, or have the extra 8% from the minor protection from Dark Shade. So it's a really good example of, yes, you can be tanky, you can build tanky, but you can't just basically ignore not having your buffs up. And here I see one of my teammates getting pressured. I'm paying attention to his HP, and I'm trying to push in so that I can come in and give him some support, but he's able to secure the kill. It's the other Magicka Nightblade. And so now we're in the lead. We're up by about 2 kills, and then we end up securing another kill. And so of course my job, basically trying to push in. I see another Magicka, I see another Nightblade, and I'm making sure to drop my path so that they're both getting revealed. I get myself a little bit of pressured. I see my teammate goes down. I immediately drop my trap, and I drop my ice just in case I get pressured from basically from stealth. And here I'm just trying to regen and wait for my teammates to come back alive, not die. I see one of my teammates getting pressured. You see immediately the other Nightblade gets revealed by the trap, and he gets CC'd, forces CC break, and I see another Warden coming up. So I get focused here by the Nightblade. I'm able to secure the stun, and then my teammate secures the kill. Drop my ice pass so that that person gets slowed, and my teammates are able to secure kills here. This is basically what you want to do as a support tank. So you always want to have options. You do want to design some form of ability to tank, and always remember that you also want to not just be tanky and be able to hold block, but you still want to be able to deal a little bit of damage, as well as get focused, and of course offer some sort of utility. So you can see really quickly, I see that my teammate is in a bad spot. He's off to the right, and I see 4 green who are about to push in on him, and I immediately throw my trap out so that if they do push in, they're going to get CC'd. As you can see, that Nightblade who did try pushing in on the Magicka Nightblade that's behind me, and he ended up getting CC'd, and then ended up trying to retreat back to his team. I start pushing. I immediately drop my ult to secure the stun on that guy. I start pushing in on the green team. I'm taking an ult, and then we were able to secure the very last kill on this particular BG. This is basically what you want to do. Is just a really good clip on how to tank as a melee Magicka, as a Magicka Nightblade on this particular build. If you're looking for a sort of utility tank for battlegrounds, if tanking is something that you enjoy, be sure to check out the Hold the Line build for the Magicka Nightblade. It's found here on the Battle of the Builds website, and just make sure to click on the ESO classes and then look for the Nightblade tab, and feel free to check out the build. If you have any other questions, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I do answer all the questions build related to the ESO. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And if this is your first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on further content. If you like the content, be sure to hit the like button so that it gets recommended to other people. Appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great day. Take care.